Everybody knows how much I like Warped section of Call of Dragons, and I have said it many times that Warpeds are my favorite feature in the game, and I have put too much time into this, right? Today we are going to speak about top 4 Warpeds in the game and the hero pairs behind those Warpeds, right? Of course, the scale will be regarding like usefulness, best in slot, how easy it is to build the warped, and how often players are choosing to use those warpeds, right? So yeah, as I have said many times, warpeds are not accessory. They are basically your third hero, so you should put your attention towards this feature, because trust me, whenever you're gonna get tier 5, only difference behind the strengths of the accounts will be who has better warpeds and who doesn't, right? So let's begin and let's start speaking about top 4 warpeds in the game, and meanwhile we also will speak about the heroes and hero pairs which will be working really well with those warpeds, right? So let's start. Doesn't really matter who will be top 1, top 2, top 3 or top 4. They are all S tiers, so it doesn't really mean that top 1 will be better than top 2. It's just a random number, so stay behind with me, right? So top 1 and 1 warped, which I believe is still one of the best warpeds in the game, even after the new warpeds came out, and that's of course Sapphire Fedric, right? This is the warped which you can use basically on every single mage hero pair, and that's the beauty of this warped, right? That's why this warped is on every single player's top 3 at least. And yeah, you can see like recommended heroes, it says Lilia, Velin, Alwyn, but trust me, tell me the mage hero which you won't gonna pick Sapphire Fedric and it will be wrong, right? You will be able to use Sapphire with Waldir, with Welin, Lilia, Alwyn, any hero pairs with Atheus, Thea, Thandalin, Bertrand, Tovar. Basically, this warped will be working absolutely fine again with every single mage hero in the game. So, what makes this warped so good is that not only Sapphire Fedric has the high numbers in terms of single target damage from the Pain Bloom, which deals damage to up to 1 legions, and it sounds really simple, right? But whenever you're gonna have advanced Pain Bloom and intense Pain Bloom, for example, each time you inflict Scourge, Horsefrost, and Ensnare, basically you will have every single debuff hero in the game, so depending whichever you will choose, Scorch is Lilia, Horfrost is Alwyn, and Ensnare is Welin, and also Horfrost has Waldir, and so on, right? On one enemy legions, Pain Bloom deals more damage and it's in percentages, and Advanced Pain Bloom hits more enemy legions with every 320 points of spirit. Pain Bloom hits an extra enemy legion. So basically, not only this warped has a good single target damage, but also you are going to deal damage to the multiple targets, which is perfect for a mage PvP open field gameplay, right? So the way how you can actually build the Sapphire Fedric is really simple. You are going for Fellowship, Advanced Fellowship, Intense Fellowship, and depending on your attributes, you might go for the Luck and you might go for the Magic Fortune, or maybe you have a high Spirit or Agility and you're gonna go for Resonance or Outburst of Rage, right? Depending which attribute you have higher, more value you are going to get from this warped, right? So basically, for beginners, this will be your main warped for mages, and even for the veterans, I believe this is your main warped so far in the game. And of course, I know there is a Flaming Manticore, and we're gonna speak about honorable mentions at the end of the video for sure, right? So basically, this was the top 1 warped in the game. In terms of like top 4, it doesn't mean it's a best one, but it's in a S tier of 4 warpeds which are in the game currently. And that's for the mages, right? For the archers, I believe there is a one warped which might not be like the strongest in terms of like damage and survivability, but because of the hero pair, this warped is simply the best for archer gameplay, right? And I can speak with my own experience. I have actually 3-star Shadow Manticore, which I did like a couple of weeks ago. So basically, this is the best archer warped, which deserves to be an S tier and top in our top 4 best warpeds which are in the game currently. So what Shadow Manticore does, deals some damage and heals some units while you are dealing damage. So of course, Barbarism here, Advanced Barbarism and Intense Barbarism is kind of must have skills for the Shadow Manticore. I believe Advanced Barbarism is really must have because this skill alone is dealing pretty high amount of damage. Alone, this one skill whenever you are fighting against different kind of players, right? The reason this Warpath is in our top 4 is simply because of Magrat and Zaida, right? Magrat and Zaida, which has a connection with the healing, of course. Shadow Manticore is the newest Warpath. Basically, Shadow Manticore came out while with Magrat and Zaida, and it has a perfect synergies to match out this hero pair, right? Because there is like Sand Lizard, which has also healing, but Sand Lizard has only healing, and Shadow Manticore has healing and also some damage, which is a pretty high number, right? Damaging in terms of damage, I believe this one is the best archer warped in the game, and there is a different ways how you can actually build this warped, right? You can go with Advanced Chain Strike, or you can go with the Blood Roar and Angry Roar, which is another crit rate, skill. So depending on your skills and attributes, you are going to be deciding if you are going for Advanced Chain Strike or some crit rate or crit damage. In my case, I really rate healing in Call of Dragons, especially with my Magrat and Zaida, and I believe having Advanced Chain Strike suits this hero pair a lot. Basically, in my mind, for Call of Dragons gameplay, especially for archers, if you're gonna stay alive longer in the battlefield, which means you're gonna have a lot of healing, you will get more and more merits, especially with Magrat and Zaida. And so I believe for Magrat and Zaida, Shadow Manticore is the best warped, and it deserves to be in our top 4. And you guys can like decide if Shadow Manticore will be top 1, top 2, top 3, or top 4. I'm just saying which are the best ones, right? Which are the best ones, and in my opinion, for archers, Shadow Manticore is must have. And so far, I hope everybody is building this warped, because trust me, whenever you're gonna have 3-star on Barbarism and you're gonna have Advanced Barbarism, you're gonna have a lot of merits from this warped alone. So yeah, that's the top 2 warpeds in the game, and the hero pair is of course Magrat and Zaida, which has a perfect synergy for this warped. We can easily move on to the top 3 section of the warpeds, and we're gonna also speak about the heroes which are suitable for those warpeds. And right now we are going to speak about one of the basic warpeds in the game which I rate really highly, and that's of course Golden Rock, right? For cavalry players, I believe this warped is must have. If you don't have good Golden Rock, you are not a good cavalry player. That's my honest opinion. And my opinion not only by the facts and by the gameplay, by the observation also, right? I believe rage accumulation speed for cavalry heroes are the best way to deal damage for them, right? Because they deal damage by the skill. More time they will use those skills, more damage they are going to do, and they are going to destroy mage players and archer players, right? So Exuberance is giving us rage accumulation speed for 5 seconds and some skill damage factors, which is never a bad thing, right? Intense Exuberance grants you Legion Rage and heals when the casting of Exuberance. Even more rage, right? You might say it's in low numbers, but 33 or 20 is already pretty nice, right? And Advanced Exuberance is more damage. So basically, Golden Rock is all about rage accumulation and getting your skill damage used more often. And I believe the availability and usability of Golden Rock is the reason why I'm putting this warped in my top 4, which means you can use Golden Rock not only on Emrys and Bakshi, you can use Golden Rock on Forondil, on Urag, on Tobin. Basically, you tell me which cavalry hero you want to use Golden Rock. Theodore, who else? Like Lies, Shan Yen, even Neya. Trust me, Golden Rock will be doing amazingly fine, and I believe it will be doing even better than some exclusive warpeds which came out while those heroes came out, like such as Auric Warhound or Blade Manticore. I believe Golden Rock still the best warped for the cavalry players. You guys might have a different opinion, but I'm always gonna share what's inside my head, and hopefully you guys will have a different perspective at least, right? So, for the building of Golden Rock, I believe Fierce Attack is a good way. Fatal Bite and some Crate is also nice. If I'm using Golden Rock on the cavalry heroes, I would not be going for Chain Strike synergy because Chain Strike synergy is more for a normal attackers, and Golden Rock is more of a burst damage for cavalry hero pairs. So basically, I would say First Attack is a preferable choice rather than Chain Strike, right? And of course, never forget crit rate and crit damage skills on your warpeds because they actually matter. So that's basically like top three warpeds in the game, and I believe the best one for cavalries. And we can easily move into the top four, which will be the last one, right? And I believe for the top four, we have to speak about the Mozrok Orcs, which is the new warped for the infantry players. And in terms of this warped, we can see Coil is the main skill. You are basically dealing a lot of damage in AoE. Well, it twice, not AoE, like you are dealing damage twice to single target. And also, what's the most important? 10% infantry HP bonus, which is a lot. Also, Advanced Coil is more damage, and Intense Coil is even more HP, right? I said many times in Call of Dragons how much I rate HP bonuses in this game. I believe HP bonuses are the best increase of your tankiness in Call of Dragons PvP open field gameplay, and I believe HP bonuses are super amazing with especially infantry who in general have highest amount of HP in the game, right? To build Mozrok, well, Counter-Strike synergy is most perfect way, but don't forget, not only this warped is tanky, but it also deals a lot of damage. So, Angry Roar, Fatal Bite, and Tooth of the Claw can be a good choices in order to build Mozrok like a tanky and some damage, right? And of course, we are going to speak about hero pairs. Of course, Kuma and Lake 1 is the best possible choices, and whenever these heroes came out, this warped was the newest warped. And yes, I can say for Mozrok, Kuma and Lake 1 is the best choices. But never forget that it like HP bonus is universally great buff. So basically, Mozrok can work with Madeline, with Garwood, even with Gorish and Skogul. So you decide where you're gonna attach this warped. Basically, not only you are going to have the newest and the best warped for infantry, but also if you don't have Kuma and Lake 1, you still will have the warped, which is the best one, and you will be able to use it on a different infantry hero pairs, and it will be working absolutely fine, right? Simply because of the HP bonus. I just don't really care about damage. What I want from the warpeds is tankiness, and well, this warped is giving a lot of tankiness and some damage, which is good enough, right? Tankiness will give us merits from the Counter-Strike damage, and this skill damage factor will give us some merits, which in general, in total, will be a good amount. And yeah, we spoke about how we can build and what's the main skill set, and Counter-Strike synergy is the main one, and Kuma Lake 1 best heroes, but you can use Mozrok with basically every single infantry hero pair which is in the game, right? So yeah, basically this is the top four best warpeds in my opinion in Call of Dragons, and of course I'm going to speak about honorable mentions, right? We have to speak about some warpeds which might be the in a S tier, but so far they might miss a little, or we need more time to actually uncover everything, right? So in terms of honorable mentions, I think Flaming Manticore might take top one in terms of mages because it has basically every attribute which Sapphire Phaedric might have. We got pretty nice single target damage, and also we have pretty nice AoE damage, which means we're gonna deal damage to 3 enemy legions within for 3 seconds. We have to see how much these 3 seconds are and how much damage we're gonna deal in these 3 seconds. But I think this flaming manticore, we should mention it. Yun Ming is of course the main hero with Gromara, but I believe there is nothing really exclusive regarding regarding this war pattern. It can be used basically with every single mage hero pair in the game, right? So that's one honorable mention which we have to speak about. Also, I think Broinbear is another honorable mention because of the Goresh and Skogul synergies. I believe this is amazing warped for Goresh and Skogul especially, but I believe not only for that. In general, I think this warped will be nice for all infantry hero pairs, but since Goresh and Skogul and Goresh meta is kinda slowly moving back, Broinbear's timing and meta is slowly moving back also, right? And that's our second honorable mention. And of course, we kind of have to speak about Sand Lizard because this is the warped which you can use on every single troop type in the game. Infantry, cavalry, archers, mages, even flying units. Healing is nice for everybody, right? So I think we have to mention in terms of great warped Sand Lizard, and that's our third honorable mention. And of course, Moonbear for rallying and for garrison, that's another honorable mention. But I believe our top four is kind of looking nice. Sapphire Frederick, Golden Rock, Shadow Manticore, and Mozrock, right? And of course, I believe Flaming Manticore at some point will make it the best major warped in the future whenever people will make this Far Cage 3-star, right? So yeah, that's like my favorite feature in the game, which is the warped section. And I always advise everybody to give it a good attention to the warpeds because they are sometimes even better than the actual heroes in the game. So hopefully from watching this video you guys will have a better understanding which warpeds can be nice, and maybe you guys got some new surprises. And as always, share your thoughts. What's your top four? And as always, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning, and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.